Hello everybody, so today we're going to be setting up a lab dealing with RDS, which is Remote Desktop Services. And basically what this is, you can go to basically the RDS website that it creates for you when you install the services. And then you can basically open up an app, just say Active Directory, and it opens it up in a virtualized environment. With inside of that domain controller that you set the RDS up on, or domain member, whatever you set it up on, it opens up a virtualized session. So just say if we go on a Windows 10 machine, go to the RDS website, we open up AD, it basically opens it up as a virtualized application. And that way you don't have to install RSAT, you don't have to do, just say you don't have to remote directly into the server or anything like that. So just say you want help desk, you're a sysadmin, you only want help desk to have access to AD. You don't want RSAT installed, but you don't want them to have full access to the server. You can kind of do like an RDS setup. And I mean, there's definitely more ways into it, but when you install RDS, you have to make sure that the user has RDP access to the server itself. So sometimes people just say, oh, I don't want RSAT installed, we're just going to do an RDS setup. I mean, there's different reasons why. I mean, definitely better reasons than I just listed, but those are some things. So if we go to, this is our domain controller right here, freshly installed. This is not the domain controller we've been using in previous videos. This is a brand new one. So if we do cmd ipconfig/all, you can see we're on a brad.local domain. So before I think it was sysadmin brad.local. Now we're just using brad.local. But anyways, if we go to manage up here, add roles and features. Next, we're going to do a remote desktop service installation. Next, and we're going to do a quick start. Standard deployment is when you do it across multiple servers, as it says right here. We don't want that, we just want a quick start. Then we're going to do session based because we're not accessing a virtualized desktop or anything, we're just accessing a virtualized session. So for a specific application. Next, this is our domain controller right here. Next. Restart the destination, that's fine, deploy. So once this installs, we'll go ahead and let this install. I'm not going to make you watch this install or anything, but it's going to go and reboot on its own. And then once it reboots on its own, I will show you all how you should be remoting back into the server itself. You can't just do a regular RDP, there's an extra step we have to take. So once this is done restarting, I will go ahead. Actually, once it restarts, depending how you RDP in or get into the server, you'll see it's working on updates. So I would just give it a few extra more minutes so you try to remote back into your machine if you're using the RDP method. If not, it's not going to work because it's trying to install updates and things. Might fail out on you. So once this is done restarting, completing updates, and I see we're back at the login screen, I will go and show you how we remote back into the server. Then just typing RDP, doing the remote desktop connection. There's an extra step we have to take, but yep, I will be right back. Alrighty guys, we are back here, and we are going to show you how to go ahead and I don't even know what was on here. Bunch of stupid stuff. Okay. Anyways, run. So we have to do mstse/admin to get back into the server. When we do that, boom, 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 and we are in. Cool, cool, cool. Let's just take a couple minutes to load up. And while this is loading up, what we need to do is we're going to go to control panel, and this is only for labbing purposes. I don't think it's going to be configured like this in a real environment. We're not doing anything through group policy to grant permissions or anything. This is just a simple basic lab to teach you about RDS itself. So if we go to System, Load Settings, we can just uncheck this, select users. We're going to add Brett and we're going to add Jake in here. Okay, apply, okay. And this is being configured right now. This should not take too long. What we're also going to do is we're going to open up Active Directory. We're going to search for remote. Under remote desktop users, we have Jake already in here. Cool. So we're going to back out of that. This should not take too long to do. This usually goes pretty quick. Like once this top one finishes, the rest goes really quick. Succeeded. Okay, now we can close this out. Now we're going to go to our remote desktop services. Plus sign means we have not set it up yet. The RD gateway we're not going to worry about. We don't really, for this labbing, we can add it for extra security and stuff. We don't really need to do that. RD gateway is also commonly used if you have more than one server being used for the RDS sessions and things like that. So like if you want to have, just say you have 100 users using RDS, you don't want 100 users connecting to one server, so you can kind of load balance it out between different servers and use an RD gateway along with that. We're not doing that. That's totally for a separate video. So what we need to do is we need to set up our licensing. Next. We're going to add the DC6, which is our domain controller. Usually this doesn't take too long. Remember last time I edited a video and it installed right away. So and also while we are at it, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to, we're gonna give Jake admin access to this computer, because why not? Cool, that's done. Okay, so that succeeded, close that. That means we have it set up now. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a self-signed certificate. We're doing a new self-signed certificate, search store location, you can leave it as that. DNS name is going to be RDS because we're going to do something in DNS later. Boom, do that. Cool. And then we need to set a password for this. So this is a password right here. And that's done. So now what we can do is we can go to, we can do run, MMC, file, add remove snap-in, certificates, add, computer account, next, local computer, finish, okay. Now you can see when we go to personal certificates, we have our RDS one right here. What we're going to do is we're going to export that. Yes, export the private key. And we're going to do that password that we created with that PowerShell command. Browse. We're going to put it on the desktop, RDS. Save. Next. Finish. Done. Close. No. Boom, boom, boom. And there's our RDS right there. So now that's done. And then what we need to do here is, for the licensing, we're going to do per user. We already have our server right here. We're not using a separate server for the licensing or anything. We can apply that. Web access. This is our web access. This DC6 is going to change because of a DNS entry we're going to do. Certificates. We need to set a certificate on each one of these. RD gateway is unknown because we haven't set that up yet. So for this broker, enable single sign-on, we're going to do like existing certificate, browse, desktop, RDS, and then do that same password that we created in that command, PowerShell command. And I would go ahead and apply these one at a time. Do not try and do all three. I don't even know if you can, but I just would not try it. Sometimes it's when you're working on stuff like this in a real world environment, you have to take your time. If not, things can go wrong very quick. Last thing you want to do is bring down the whole company. Okay, so we're going to do the next one. Alrighty guys, and then I will, I'm taking just a quick 10-minute break and then I will be right back. Alrighty guys, I am back. As you can see, all three installed successfully. Success, success, success. We'll click OK. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the DNS. We're going to create a forward lookup zone. So we're going to do the name as RDS 192.1. And this is the IP of the server itself. We don't need to do these two. We're going to add the host. OK. Done. And basically what that does is, when we go to RD Web Access, see this DC6, that's going to be replaced with RDS. So if we cancel out of that, quick session. So as you can see here, we got three different ones right here. We're going to unpublish Paint and WordPad. We'll just keep calculator on there for the giggles of it. Okay, and then we're going to publish two remote apps. So we're going to add Active Directory, so Windows, System 32. And then we need to look for DSA. Where is DSA? DSA. This is the Active Directory. And then we're also going to do group policy. Next. So you got DSA group policy, publish. Now you're wondering, well, how are people going to know DSA is Active Directory if I have a help desk person going to the RDS server? Well, what you can do is right click this, edit properties, remote program name, we can do Active Directory, and then current icon is this. We can change that. That's going to be for a later video though, once we go more depth in this. So we have Active Directory, the calculator, and group policy management. We're going to take away the management part. Usually a group policy, I just leave that icon how it is. I wouldn't even adjust it. And then you also need to like show the remote app programs. You can click no, yes, whatever. Now if we go to task and we go to edit properties, as you can see here we have domain users as a user groups, or just leave it as that. For labbing purposes, real world environments, probably not going to be set like that. That's really all you need to do from here. So now we should be done on the server side itself. If we go back to the run command, and we do mstsc/admin, we're going to do 192.168.8.46, which is the Windows 10 machine that I'm on. We're going to cancel out of this. For some odd reason, whenever I install RDS on a server, I cannot RDP to any Windows 10 machine. Oh, wait, one second. We're going to do run, mstsc admin 46. And then we're going to do Brad \Jake. Yes. Okay, so now we can go and open up Chrome. We can go to https rds.brad.local/rdweb. Advance, proceed. We're going to do Brad \Jake. And then the domain password of Jake. Now you can see we have our 3 icons right here. Let's go and try to open up the calculator. Come on thing. Boom. Connect. Jake Williams. And there's the calculator right there. So if we close out of that and we do just say Active Directory, you also got to make sure your users have the correct access to Active Directory, everything else. And there's our Active Directory. So as you can see, we don't have full access to the server. You can limit that down. There's tons of ways you can do stuff. But if we close out of that, and we do just say group policy now. Connect. Yes. And there's our, well shoot, that's not the group policy that we need. 1 second. Minimize this. Back to here, task, publish. We're gonna unpublish. I don't know why it opened up that. Next, unpublish. We don't want that MMC. We don't want the snapping. We want actually a group policy. Publish. Add. Windows System 32. And then we need to look for GPMC. All files. GPMC right here, open, next, publish. Close. Edit properties. We're going to name it group policy. Apply. Okay. Now if we minimize this, go back here, we're going to sign out. We're going to sign back in. Here's our group policy. connect, domain password Jake Williams. I just like to show this so I can see what I'm kind of working on, and there's our group policy right here. As you can see here, I don't have any group policy sets. This is a fresh domain, but this is the setup for RDS. There will be more videos on this for sure, but this is just the general scope of the setup. Hope you all enjoyed. If there's any questions or comments, leave them down below in the comments section, and please like and subscribe. Thank you.